everyone, it's Tambarambaa here again with you today. Thanks for joining my channel, and today I'm creating this bright coloured art journal page using art by Marlene goodies. So I begin with my large size art journal, which is the artist size, and I actually grabbed a reverse of another page that I've done just because I want my journal to have art on both sides when I open it once it's finished. So first of all, I've grabbed some yellow, which is I didn't use Happy actually. I used the neons, and that one is called Wow, and I pop it down in just 3 spots across the page. I like to work in the rule of 3s or 5s as much as possible, and then I'm just using my fingers to spread that paint around. So I've gone in then with some of the Funky, which is the other neon, which is the pink, and then I came in with some Mermaid, which is the aqua, and I challenged myself to use some orange, so I used a touch of the orange there, which is hot curry, and then I also used Smurf, that deeper blue, just because I love it so much. So this page, I just wanted to play. I just wanted to create a few layers and have fun with my acrylic paints. So I'm not thinking very much about what I'm doing. The main thing I am trying to do is create just a little bit of light through the center. So I've left a bit of white there. If you go a bit crazy and go nuts with your paints, you can bring that white back in with some white paint or some gesso later. So I've just kind of filled up the areas, and then I've come in with my paintbrush and some of the pink, and I am just creating some marks with my paintbrush. Again, I'm not overthinking it, just having a little bit of fun. So now I come in with some Distress Oxide, and I'm using a stencil that is one of Marlene's by the Crafters Workshop, and I'm just using the little cross section, and I'm starting with the blues, the deeper blue, and blending it out. So coming out using a blending brush, or blending sponge, I guess. So I then do the same with some pink using the little triangle bit, and then I went to do the same with the with a lime coloured Distress Oxide, but it looked really dirty on my page, so I don't know if you caught that, but I quickly wiped it off because I wasn't happy with it, and came in with another stencil from the Crafters Workshop called Botanical Dream, and a lime coloured paint, which is Glow. So I really like the way the glow looks on top of the yellow, and then so what I've done is popped it down, put my stencil on top, and then wiped off some paint through it. So now I'm just joining it all back together with some extra little mark making. So I've added a few more little brush strokes. I've actually brought back in some white, which is what I'm doing at the moment. So that's the white paint. So I just think when you're using bright colours, adding black and white will create that balance for you. So really important to bring a bit of white back into your page. Now I'm using a colour that I absolutely love called Punk, which is also a neon, and it just gives it sort of a lift to all the other colours. So I've popped a bit down, and then I've used the stamp Writing on the Wall, which is that grungy text stamp, and I've just stamped that randomly through the back of my page. Okay, so now I have grabbed a die cut called Circle Shaped, and I've cut out a whole heap of circly shapes in all different sizes, just in plain white cardstock. And what I'm doing is I just love circles, and I'm just kind of putting them across my page, but I do want some to be cut off, so I want some to look like they're hanging off the page, and I want a sort of a trail across the page, and that just gives the eye somewhere to look, rather than if you put the circles all over your page, your eye will be won't be drawn in. It will sort of be a bit scattery and will not know where to look on the page. So this just helps to focus in to that page. Yeah, so I guess what I love about the acrylic paints is some are opaque and some are transparent. The transparent ones are definitely the neons, and I love the mix of them together. So some you get different colours poking through, and you never know what's quite going to look like. So I really like that, and that's just what I needed today with this playing. So now I grabbed the extra large Golden Oldies book, and I popped out a little, there was a circly shape in there with a girl with gorgeous pink vibrant hair, and I just felt it suited the mood I was in. So, and because she's a circle, she works perfectly. So I stuck her down with some of the glue as well. And then I did add a little bit more stenciling just because I felt it needed it next to that girl. But what I'm doing now is I'm coming in with a black paint pen, and this is a fairly thick tip, like a bold tip, and I've just outlined every circle, and then I'm just adding a few little mark makings with it. Now it's really important, you can see they just don't quite look like they belong yet, those circles, so it's really important to come in with a finer pen, black pen as well. This is a fine paint pen, and I'm just going around a little bit scribbly around the edges, and not just one line but a couple of lines around all those circles, and you might just see it happen. It just blends them into that background, and so they look like they belong all of a sudden and not just floating there. So just finishing them all up. Then I decide to add a few circles in myself with a paint pen, so just using blacks again. As I said, black and white with bold, bright colours like this really help it all to pop, and really help it not to look like a hot mess. So now I've come in with my lace paint, which is the white, and just doing, I love with the fine tip that you can do little dots really easily. So I'm just following that trail and doing some little white dots just to join it all together and create, you know, more circles, more dots, more black, more white. That's kind of where my head's going. So if you can see in that little die cut that I use, there's some gorgeous little black and white stripes around the border, and I have a bit of a thing for black and white stripes. They appear on most of my pages. So that's what I'm doing now, just in a couple of the sides. I'm just adding some white paint, and then I'll come back in, as you can see now, with the black, just to create sort of a black and white stripe along the edge. And not only do I love the look, but it really ties in with that die cut of Marlene's in there. Then just to finish off, a few more little mark making bits. I mean, you can have so much fun with this. It's really about layers and layers. So now I decide to add a quote. So I've grabbed her latest Bold and Bright sticky quotes, and what really popped out to me was that circular shape, and it says, "In my defense, I was left unsupervised," and it's just perfect for this sort of page that's fun, colourful, a bit chaotic, and just matched the mood that I was in the day I created it. So here I'll leave you with some close-ups. I will list all the products below, and thanks so much for joining me, and I'd love you to subscribe or leave me a comment. Bye for now.